Hey YCC, I hope you're all doing okay. So I think we're about 6 weeks-ish into lockdown, give or take a few days. I'm not really sure. But something I wanted to talk about today is um, how different life feels now from when we began lockdown and when we started. I think right at the beginning when we were just a few days or a week in, I felt very present with God. I felt like God was very present with me, and I could still see God doing things. I could see him working, and I felt like he was really on top of it and really with me and really looking after me. But the longer we've gone, the less I feel that, the less I feel like God is with me, and actually the more distant I feel from God. And I'm thinking maybe he's forgotten about us. Maybe he's just like, well, I'll leave them in lockdown because they're not doing any harm. They're just stuck in their houses. It's less work for me to do. I get a bit of a break. And actually it feels like maybe God has just forgotten us. Maybe he's just like, I'll just leave them here for a little bit longer. I can have a nap, do whatever it is that he's doing. I don't know. I'm sure it's not napping or having a break from us. In fact, I know it's not napping or having a break from us. But it feels like that's something that could be going on because it's really hard, and being in lockdown is really hard. And not having normal life is really difficult, and I'm really struggling, and I'm sure there are plenty of you guys that are struggling too. So something I wanted to look at is Luke 12 verses 6 and 7 today, and they say, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Indeed, the very hairs on your head are numbered. Don't be afraid, you're worth far more than many sparrows." And that verse it sums up how important we are to God. It sums up how valuable each of us individually are to God, but actually as a world and as a community within YCC, and as a town within Yeovil, and as a country and as a nation and as a world, we're so valuable to God. And actually there's no way he would go, I'm just going to leave them in lockdown because I'm bored and I want a bit of a break. That's not the God I know. That's not the God I go to church to worship. That's not what God has shown me in my journey as a Christian, and I'm sure that's not what God has shown you as your journey as a Christian either. And I think it's really hard for us to see how God's working right now because we're not in normal life. We're not out in the community. We're not seeing we're not hearing stories of how people have changed and how God healed this person because we're not meeting each other. And actually that is what's different. It's not that God is distant. It's not that God has gone away and locked himself in a room to have a break from us. It's just that we're not talking to each other because we don't get to see each other because we're not allowed to for safety. And actually I just want to reassure you guys today, and hopefully this is encouraging, that God sees the bigger picture. God sees us in 10 years' time when we forget that coronavirus and that lockdown was a thing. He sees us when we randomly remember that we were locked in our houses for 2 months and we laugh about it. And he sees in a couple of months' time when things start to be eased and we can see more people and go back to what life looked like before, go back to work, go back to school. God sees how much joy that's going to bring us. But actually it's okay that we don't see that because we're not God. We just see the right now because right now we're struggling, and I know that when things start to go back to normal, it's going to be okay. But right now it's really hard to feel that things are going to be okay because I'm stuck in my house, and I'm in a place where I can't do the job that I love. I can't go to church. I can't hang out with my friends, and that's really hard. But God sees how it's going to be better, and God sees that things are going to improve and that he's going to be with us every step of the way. And it's not that God isn't with us. It's not that God doesn't love us anymore. It's just that the circumstances mean that things are a bit more difficult to do as we would normally do them. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you today, that God is still in every aspect of your life, every aspect of your situation, whether you're loving lockdown. I know there are a few people who are absolutely loving being at home and not having to go to work and college and things, or whether you're finding it really difficult. I hope that's encouraging, knowing that God is in every aspect of that, and he loves you and values you so much. and he definitely hasn't forgotten about you and isn't just wanting a bit of a break from working. See you soon.